Breaking news, a Norman driver tops 100 miles per hour near campus. Hear how police caught up to him. Russia's attack on Ukraine gets more dangerous, and what's expected in tonight's State of the Union. This is OU Nightly. Thanks for joining us for OU Nightly. I'm Tyler DeLuca.
And I'm Mady Daddario. We begin tonight with breaking news. Norman police arrest a dangerous driver they say was going over 100 miles an hour near campus.
OU Nightly's Zaria Oates is live near Jenkins and Constitution where it all happened. Zaria?
Earlier this afternoon, a little after 2:30 p.m., the Norman Police Department attempted a traffic stop. Now, the driver was going just over 100 miles per hour in a school zone. Now, behind me here is State, which is an apartment complex just off campus at the University of Oklahoma. The driver entered this apartment complex area and drove circles in the parking lot before he got out of his vehicle, took off running behind the apartment complex through the grass, jumped over a fence, and into the Jimmy Austin Golf Club. Now, the PIO, which is the Public Information Officer at the Norman Police Department, said that this is not an incident of drinking and driving or any drugs, but she said she will keep us updated. Now, the apprehended suspect has been arrested for reckless driving, eluding, which is running from the police, and driving without a license. We'll keep you updated on our website and our social media. Reporting live, Zaria Oates, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Zaria. There's more breaking news, this time out of Ukraine. Tonight, we know recent airstrikes have taken out Ukrainian television. The powerful missile attack hit a TV control room and substation. Ukrainian government officials say that at least 5 people who worked at the TV station were killed in the strike. The missile also knocked the stations off the air, leaving a country of people hungry for information without news for now. A spokesperson says they hope to restore the backup towers soon. Airstrikes also hit town squares in some of the nation's largest cities.
And the UN Refugee Agency says the situation in Ukraine could create Europe's largest refugee crisis of the century. With more than 600,000 people believing to have fled, CNN's Emily Schmidt reports on the 6th day of attacks.
This is just one moment, but it shows how Ukrainians, some wrapped in flags, all driven to defend, responded when they saw a Russian vehicle approach.
We are fighting for our rights, for our freedoms, for life, for our life. And now we're fighting for survival.
The UN estimates at least 102 civilians have died so far. That figure likely underestimates the true toll. Ukraine's president accuses Russia of war crimes, which the Kremlin rejects, for bombing the city of Kharkiv. This video shows a government building destroyed after a military strike. A voice on the video says there are many injured I can't see. The Russian military warns of more attacks. Satellite images from late Monday show a 40-mile-long Russian convoy approaching Ukraine's capital. The U.S. Secretary of State floated the idea Tuesday of kicking Russia off the UN Human Rights Council.
These are the human rights abuses this council was created to stop. If we cannot come together now, when will we come together?
An update on this moment. Ukrainians fought. Eventually, the Russian vehicle surged forward into a country where it is unwanted, but still undeterred. I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
And word of more airstrikes continues to come into our newsroom. Right now, we know a Holocaust memorial site has been bombed by Russia. OU Nightly's Brooklyn Sweet has that story and the rest of today's news from around the world. She's in the news center. Brooklyn?
Tyler, a Russian airstrike that targeted Kyiv hit the Babin Yar Holocaust Memorial site. In a statement with the memorial's advisory board chair, Natan Sharansky claims Putin is seeking to manipulate the Holocaust to justify the invasion into Ukraine. Sharansky is calling the attack, quote, utterly abhorrent. The memorial is the site of the Ukraine's worst mass killing during the Nazi occupation. The war in Ukraine will be a topic tonight at President Joe Biden's first State of the Union address. The president's aides say his speech will also address issues impacting Americans, including rising gas prices and inflation. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer praised the president's efforts against Russia today.
The president has done an excellent job uniting our nation and our allies against Putin.
Fencing barricades and concrete blocks will line the Capitol tonight in events of protesters. Those barricades are becoming the norm since January 6th Capitol riots, and those accused in that incident continue to stand trial. Guy Reffitt is facing 5 charges for bringing a gun to the insurrection, battling the police, and threatening his children to stay quiet after he returned home from the attack. Federal prosecutors interviewed 34 candidates for the jury on Monday. Some potential jurors were dismissed for their strong feelings towards the attack. Witness testimonies could begin this week. Mady and Tyler, the State of the Union speech will be carried by all major TV networks tonight. It starts at 8 o'clock Oklahoma time. Back to you.
Thanks, Brooklyn. And Tyler, I don't want to jinx it, but I think spring might finally be here.
Well, I sure hope it is staying. Hannah Gard is here with a first look at our forecast. How about it, Hannah?
Well, Mady and Tyler, what a day to get outside. I mean, there's barely a breeze. We're seeing lots of sunshine, blue skies. It's just beautiful out. You wouldn't even believe that just a week ago we had freezing temperatures. Now, with this springtime weather, it is the first day of meteorological spring, and we're sitting about 15 degrees above our seasonal average. We're usually in the high 50s, 58 degrees for this day. But along with these springtime temperatures, we will see some other things coming along with that, and that's going to be allergies. So certainly take these next few days to stock up on those allergy medications. We're really going to start to see that ramp up into the end of this week because these warm temperatures are really going to stick around. It's going to be nice the rest of the week, and we won't really see that change until this weekend. But coming up later in the newscast, Colton will have more on these seasonal temperatures and what we could see in terms of severe weather later this week. Guys, back to you.
I'm so happy that the weather is finally getting warmer. I could not do with the cold anymore.
Yeah, I can't stand the cold, but as soon as we start getting warm now, we start to see some possible severe weather, so we just can't get a break. But
I know.
Though the conflict in Ukraine is far from home, it is still impacting us locally. Find out how the European conflict is affecting oil prices.
Plus, a new alternative school is coming to Norman with both remote and in-person learning. Find out how the hybrid school will work when OU Nightly returns.
The stock market hit a major decline this morning, and find out how the increase of oil prices are impacting global travel. Mecca Thompson has further details in Money Matters.
Yeah, the U.S. stocks began the first trading session of March with major losses. The Dow declined 0.5%, while S&P and NASDAQ both fell 0.3%. This is the second month in a row that these major stock companies have fallen short. Investors are continuing to keep an eye out on the market and the latest with the Russia-Ukraine crisis. And oil closed above $100 a barrel yesterday for the first time in 7 years. Brent crude oil, the world's benchmark, jumped 3.5%. The last time it closed above triple digits was September of 2014. Meanwhile, the national average for gas in the U.S. is up 8 cents since last week and 25 cents over the past month. This all comes as the Russia-Ukraine crisis continues to escalate. And global travel is being heavily impacted by the ongoing conflict with Russia and Ukraine. With oil prices rising, the cost of jet fuel will also increase and lead to pricier plane tickets. The airplane industry was just starting to recover from major losses during the pandemic, and this too could be another setback. And this just in, Apple announced they will temporarily stop all online sales in Russia. Tyler, Mady.
Thanks, Mecca. A new alternative school is coming to Norman. St. Sophia Classical Academy is a hybrid learning option for kids in the community. Students will be taught in school for 2 days a week, and the other 3 days will be at home learning. This program, while teaching the necessary material, will also include Latin as a core subject. St. Sophia Classical Academy allows for students to have an education tailored at their own speed.
Have a day off in between the Tuesdays and Thursdays, the kids can kind of prepare for class and be ready for a discussion, where when they come every day, that's harder.
The school is now holding informational Zoom meetings for parents to learn more about the program. Today begins enrollment for the 2022-2023 school year. Bouncing back from heavy COVID restrictions, OU's visitor center is slowly returning to normalcy. With spring visits by prospective students underway, the university is increasing its tour group sizes.
And Colton, today is a great day to be out on one of those tours.
That's right, Tyler. Here on the first day of meteorological spring, there's been some 5-star weather. I'll break down our next rain chance coming up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to OU Nightly. Thanks for joining us. I'm Colton Williams. We're taking a live look now here on this first day of meteorological spring. What a beautiful day we have. Clear skies out there, motorists getting up and down Lincoln Boulevard towards the Oklahoma State Capitol. We are sitting at 73 now. Once again, sunny skies. The wind's really not a problem out there. It is certainly dry. It's feeling like a 5-star day out there today. Make sure you get outside. Across the metro, we're sitting in the middle to upper 70s here for most of us. 74 in Oklahoma City, 77 in Kingfisher. All across the state, the same story. It's sunny and absolutely beautiful temperatures in the middle to upper 70s. We're going to continue this throughout this week here, this first week of March. So looking at the big picture here, we've got a jet stream overhead that wants really nothing to do with Oklahoma. We've got high pressure dominating our weather pattern right now. That's going to be the story over the next several days. Our next storm system is all the way up here off the Pacific Northwest. So we've got several days to go before we get rid of these awesome temperatures and we continue to see some beautiful temperatures. So here, as we look out the next couple of days here, you see we have warm temperatures. Again, high pressure just continues to absolutely dominate our weather pattern, even into Wednesday and into Thursday. By Thursday, our winds will kind of begin to push up here. By the time we get into Friday and Saturday, then we'll start to look for a fire danger. Before finally this weekend, we have a low pressure system. A storm system will move in. This will dig into the southern coast here. This will bring in the potential for some moisture, and then we'll have the possibility for some thunderstorms come Saturday and into Sunday. So hopefully some significant rainfall on the way. We're still several days away, so still some time to sit here and discern through some of the data, and then we'll kind of cool back down as we go into next week. So right now, this is kind of what the setup is looking like. We'll have that low pressure setup here. We will have a dry line, right? It's springtime in Oklahoma. We'll have access to some moisture here. We won't be quite as good in the west and the southwest, but as we approach southeastern Oklahoma, the moisture gets better. That's where we should see not only some more rainfall, but the potential for some severe weather. So we'll have to keep our eye on that as we head into this weekend. But as we all know, we certainly could use some substantial rainfall. Our drought is in the extreme category for Norman, severe for Oklahoma City. Eastern Oklahoma is doing a little bit better, but here, southwestern, western, northwestern Oklahoma certainly could use a bit of rain. But back to this evening, again, an absolutely beautiful evening this evening. 72 by 7 o'clock. We will be in the 60s until 8 p.m. That southerly breeze keeping us feeling really good. A clear night to get outside, enjoy the weather tonight. Make sure you, again, make some outdoor plans. Lows tonight statewide sitting in the middle to lower 40s. We will get close to freezing in Guyman, but look at that. Our normal this time of the year is 35, and we're going to be sitting in the middle to upper 40s here for most of us across the state. Tomorrow we have the same story. We have 70s returning tomorrow, upper 70s tomorrow, and here we go. We are gaining daylight by the day, folks. For March here, by the end of March, we're going to gain over an hour and a half of daylight. So as we take a look into this week, plenty of 70s before that rain chance returns on Sunday. Maddie and Tyler, back to you.
Thanks, Colton. The pandemic has not only changed the campus experience for students, but for visitors too. With tour capacity slowly increasing, the Visitor Center is continuing to navigate the challenge of balancing safety and providing a meaningful, all-inclusive campus visit to guests.
Another thing is making sure they know our expectations when they come in. And for the most part, people have been really super respectful. We just let them know that, we encourage masking indoors, and we really leave that decision to be up to them.
As spring break approaches, the tour office is preparing for a large number of visitors and aims to communicate masking expectations to guests through emails before their tours.
And tonight is senior night for the men's basketball team. Brigg, what should we expect from the Sooners?
Well, guys, the Sooners are looking to finish strong with their last home game of the season. And switching to the pros, Ja Morant went ballistic with a show-stopping performance. Sports is next. Stick around. Hello and welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Brigg Bates and it's time for sports. It's officially March and you know what that means. Madness is brewing as the Big 12 regular season is coming to an end. The Oklahoma men's basketball team will host the West Virginia Mountaineers for a senior night matchup tonight in the LNC. The Sooners look to make a push for the big dance but will likely end up in the NIT tournament. Tip-off is at 6.
For us though, like when you're still trying to keep your life on, that's going to be an app that you're going to talk about that later. Right now, we're just talking about, let's get another one. Let's stay in this conversation. Let's keep, so it's been so much about West Virginia, but I just think about going back and put myself in their shoes, having your last home game.
The OU women's basketball team is heading north to take on in-state rival Oklahoma State for a Bedlam rematch. The last time these two teams met, the Sooners took home the win 84-58. Coach Ginny and the Sooners are sitting at third place in the Big 12 and are looking to finish the season strong with a series sweep over the Cowgirls. The ladies in the Crimson and Cream are still trying to raise their stock ahead of the Big 12 tournament. It's baseball time in Norman, Oklahoma, and the Sooners are getting some help from the mound. Redshirt sophomore pitcher Chaz Martinez was named Big 12 Pitcher of the Week after a 14-strikeout performance against Northwestern State. Martinez was also named one of Collegiate Baseball's newspaper's National Players of the Week. The OKC Thunder hosted the Sacramento Kings last night in the Paycom Center. Thunder superstar Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 37 points, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds. But that was not enough as the Kings blew the Thunder out of the water 131-110. The Thunder are struggling in the Western Conference, but SGA is lighting it up in the past 12 games, averaging 28 points on 51% shooting. Memphis Grizzlies star Ja Morant has been on fire lately, and he didn't hold back last night against the Spurs. Morant put on a highlight reel, dropping 52 points filled with poster dunks and even a halftime buzzer beater. Morant's performance was the first 50-point game in Grizzlies franchise history. The MLB lockout will not come to an end today as the MLBPA declined to accept the MLB's final proposal. ESPN hosted MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred's press conference on the current lockout. He declared games will be canceled and the two sides can start renegotiations on Thursday. The long-awaited return of Markelle Fultz is finally here after being sidelined due to a torn ligament in his knee. The former #1 pick made his official comeback last night for the Magic against the Indiana Pacers. Fultz was limited to 16 minutes, but that was enough for him to get going, scoring 10 points and dropping 6 dimes. The Los Angeles Lakers host the Dallas Mavericks tonight for a primetime Western Conference matchup. LeBron James and the Lakers are coming off of an embarrassing blowout loss to the Pelicans 123-95 at home. The Lakers have lost the last 5 of 6 games and are looking to get back on track before it's too late. While Luka Doncic and the Mavs look to stay hot and maintain their high-seed playoff hopes on the road. I don't know about you guys, but the feeling of March is upon us, and I'm ready to watch some hoops.
Thanks, Brigg. I know me and Tyler definitely are too.
100%.
And a New England governor pulled out the razor for a good cause.
Find out how the governor of Massachusetts is saving by shaving when OU Nightly returns.
I'm Morgan Martin at the OU Nightly Update Desk. A federal trial challenging Oklahoma execution protocols continues its second day of testimonies today. Attorneys for over 24 Oklahoma inmates on death row claim that the lethal injection is a cruel form of punishment. The injection currently consists of a 3-drug cocktail. The trial is expected to go through the remainder of the week. Mady, Tyler, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Morgan. The governor of Massachusetts, Charlie Baker, is saving by shaving. Baker went bald to help fundraise for a children's hospital.
The event hosted by Granite Telecommunications is expected to raise over $7.5 million. The hefty donation is because the company is donating $2,500 for every shaved head or 8 inches of hair cut off. Joining Governor Baker on his buzz cut journey, some New England Patriot football players also joined the cause.
And Colton, I am crossing my fingers that the heat is here to stay for the rest of the week. Am I going to be in luck?
Hey, Tyler, you are in luck. Real quick, let's look at this. We are gaining daylight as spring is in full swing here. Look at this. March 1st, sunset is at 6:25. By March 31st, we'll be setting the sun by nearly 8 p.m. But like I said, spring is in full swing here. We'll do days worth of 70s here all the way into Sunday before we get back into the 50s next week. Guys, back to you.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by the Gaylord College of Journalism and Mass Communication on the campus of the University of Oklahoma.
Join us for OU Nightly again tomorrow night, live at 4:30. Good night.